Welcome to episode 13 of Pigskin Over Pizza, the show where we talk about sports while eating and eventually reviewing a hopefully delicious pizza. The date is May 21st. I'm your host, Casey P., along with my good friend and co-host, Trevor P. No relation.
No relation.
No relation at all. Trevor, what kind of pizza we eating today? Where from?
We are eating Costco pizza from Costco. And they did some wacky stuff to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the worst shape I've ever seen Costco pizza in. I don't know what the hell they did.
I don't know. It's like flipped over and cut, and
The cheese looks uneven. The cook looks uneven. I don't know if this guy even has cheese. That is awful. All right. Well, we can get into it and get into the show here. Is there anything you want to talk about before we get into the regular sports?
Not really.
This
No.
looks sad. All right. Well, we can start with football if you want. You got anything for football?
Football.
Football.
Just training camp started. Joe Burrow's healthy. He is practicing with the team after his I forgot, it was like an he had like a wrist injury at first, and it was an elbow injury or something, but
Yeah, I can't keep track of all his injuries.
yeah, he has so many. But actually they're playing the Ravens like I forget what it was. It was like week 12 or something like that. But they play the Ravens at Baltimore the same time that he got hurt a year ago. So it's like
So you're trying to jinx it.
but yeah, pretty much. But same thing with Aaron Rodgers. They're
Yeah.
the same time. So, but then they released the schedule. Cause did you talk to Cal about the schedule, or it wasn't released yet?
No, it wasn't out yet.
Oh.
So, hey, you feel free to talk about anything you want with the schedule.
I did not put down the schedule. Whoops.
Yeah, I think they announced the release date of the schedule like a couple of days after we recorded.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming, but we didn't know when yet.
There is a lot of playoff rematches. I think there's a lot. There's I forget how many, but there was a lot. Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh play each other.
Boo.
Boo. Bengals open with the Patriots. Broncos open with the Seahawks.
That's right.
The Brohawks. Other than that, I don't really have anything. I think our schedule's pretty good. We'll see. Joe Burrow can stay healthy, and T. Higgins decides he wants to play, because now he's, I guess, not showing up or not expected to sign his tag, his franchise tag. So we'll see. But we drafted some pretty good players, and now we have like 5 tight ends. I don't know. We drafted.
Cal was saying.
Yeah, we had 3 already on the roster, and then we drafted 2 of them. So that'd be 5. I can't math, but so there's that. But yeah, I don't really have much. I mean, they're still in training camp, so nothing.
Yeah.
I know Broncos have New Jerseys and the Giants have New Jerseys, so.
I get it. The Giants, because they're in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, we texted a little bit about the Giants. People are hating on them hardcore. I think the pants should definitely be blue. I think it instantly look better. I think the brown, tan, whatever you want to call it, pants don't look good.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I actually think they look really cool. My only issue I told you is they look like straight Montreal Canadian jerseys, and I just can't unsee that. And I finally saw somebody else say it. I was like, these are like 1 for 1. I don't know how nobody else has said this, but finally saw somebody else saying it.
I agree.
Did you look up the Broncos uniforms?
I did. I already saw them earlier, I think, when they were first released.
Mm-hmm.
And I got you're saying the Canadians. I got the Oilers vibes from theirs.
From
the Broncos. I got
Really?
Oilers. Yeah, Cause like the orange.
Like Edmonton?
Yeah, the orange, blue, white.
Hmm.
Look them up again.
Yeah, I mean, color-wise they are, but the Broncos have those same colors already. Looks-wise, I don't see it at all, but hey, to each their own.
True.
Um,
Could just be the combination, because like the Broncos had like a darker blue, but in the new one they have like a brighter blue, so it could be it. But I don't know. I like them though.
You do? Cool. Okay, you're definitely in the minority. I absolutely love them, actually. And I was worried because I think Broncos already had some of the best uniforms, so I don't think it was necessary to change them. But they have had the same uniforms for like the same general uniforms. They made tweaks, but not an overhaul like this for like 24 years or something. So most teams have had like 5 iterations of their uniforms, so can't blame them for finally changing it up. I was just worried though, since I really like their uniform so much. But I was very happy with them, and they're getting absolutely destroyed online. So that's why I was surprised to see you say you like them, because not many people do. My biggest issue is something that they can easily be fixed, and they've advertised it as well. The combination of some of the uniforms I don't think look good together, like the new blue helmet with the orange jersey, white pants, and like orange socks. I feel like it always looks better when the helmet matches the pants at least. I feel like it kind of just looks like everything's like thrown together if not. But they said that's the point of these uniforms, is they can be modular, and they can put different sets with different things. I feel like that looks way better. Like there's a blue helmet with a white jersey, orange pants, and white socks. And every time you do that, I just think it looks like it's thrown together. But when it matches, I think it looks incredible. Like if they did blue helmet, orange, and then blue, and then orange, I think that would look fantastic. The all blue with the white helmet is really cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I'd be curious what a orange helmet would have looked like, but
It might be a lot.
Yeah. And then the biggest issue people have is they also introduced throwback uniforms with the old logo here, and they look incredible. And a lot of people want that to be their uniform and their new logo. And I think they do look great. And on one hand, I do want them to change that, but I feel like it's grass is always greener kind of thing. I feel like as soon as we switch back to these in like 5 years, everybody will be like, man, the current uniforms now, what would be the old ones? Everybody will be like, man, I wish we could have those back. I feel like it's just always that it's something's better if you don't have it. And I think throwback uniforms, they absolutely nailed them, but I think that's perfect for what they should be, because I think the current logo makes a lot more sense for modern NFL, and is also, like I said, it's been their logo for like 25 years now, so you can imagine a lot of Bronco fans don't even know the old logo. It's all plastered around the entire city and state, the new logo. So I just feel like that'd be bad marketing to change it to the old logo when you could have it still be as like a alternate uniform. But yeah, I feel like I could even see it in myself, because they used to always wear blue jerseys. I was like, man, I love the orange ones. I wish I could change to that. And then they did, and I love the orange jerseys, but now I'm like, man, I see these orange ones all the time. Blue jersey would be nice. So I feel like you can literally see it happening. I'm like, well, I think I just like the blue now because I'm always getting the orange. So
yeah, I think I see the orange a lot. So when I think Broncos, that's my first is the orange.
Yeah. But I think they're incredible. There's a lot of small things like they used to have in their numbers, they have like little holes going through it, and now instead of that, they have little mountain shaped designs. I think are really cool. They're subtle, because I think it would look real tacky if they weren't subtle, but if you're going to have that, I feel like it's cool to have little things like that. The helmet now, the original, like the regular dark blue helmet, is a matte instead of a gloss, which I think actually looks really good on it. The new orange stripe I was worried about, I think that was cool. Do you know what the 5280 on the visor is, Trev Dog?
I do not know.
A lot of people are making fun of that. I think it's fucking cool as shit. It's the elevation that the stadium is at.
That is nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know why people. I feel like it's just cool to dog pile, but
Yeah. I feel like it's something where it's like, I don't know, maybe because if they live there or something, it's like, oh, like whatever. But like to us, it's like you're at a different elevation or whatever. Like for us, if we just put our elevation, then it's like, all
yeah,
right, that's dumb.
yeah, it'd be a little silly here, but you literally tons of Bronco players have said it, and the way players have said that going there is a huge adjustment because the elevation, which makes sense, obviously. Just not even doing football, you can notice the elevation, but especially doing something that athletic, you're going to notice it when you're trying to catch your breath and everything.
Yeah.
And if you see Bronco games, especially on crazy weather days, a lot of the players have oxygen tanks on the sideline, which
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter.
Telling. Yeah.
Because in the winter, it's already hard to breathe, and then you go up there. That's why every time you guys say, let's go to Denver, I'm like, I'm not breathing.
Oh, it's beautiful. You love it. We have many chances to go to Denver this year, too, because the new schedule came out, as you said.
Yeah.
The Bengals are in Cincinnati, though, so that one is can't go to Denver for it.
But we can go to Cincinnati for it.
That's true. Do you have any plans to go to, before I continue on with the Broncos, any Bengals games this year?
No plans. Not really. I just wait for Cal and his schedule, and then he just texts me and say, hey.
You just wait for Dad?
Yeah. I think I would go to the Denver one if you were able to go and he was able to go. I know Noah, who also worked at the theater. He's a Cowboys fan, and they play Monday night. I think that's away, so we might do like a watch party or something. But that's also like in November, so that's a long while away. But other than that, not really. No.
I got you.
But that's the same for like all sports. I don't really plan. Like I want to go, but I just wait until you guys say, hey, these are the dates, and I go, all right, let's do it.
Oh man, that couldn't be any more opposite of me. But the biggest thing stopping it is time and money. I'm just like so many dates. I'm like, oh my god, I could do this. I could do this. Like the opening date is a Seahawks, and my brother lives in Seattle. I'm like, man, I could do that. And then the Bengals game, like you said, here. But then the closest games, away games, are like 7 hours or more. So there's no great opportunities besides Cincinnati.
Do they play Cleveland?
Yeah, but it's in Denver.
Oh.
And that one is December 2nd, and it's I think a Monday night game. It's a primetime game for sure. So yeah, there's just so many potential options. But like I said, money is a big part of that.
Yeah, because they're not cheap.
Yeah. And then they play the Saints on the 17th and the Buccaneers on the 22nd. Obviously, many other games aside from that, but I'm pulling those two out because we're talking about maybe going to Universal in New Orleans. So I'm like, man, both of those are possibilities. And New Orleans, that'll be the first time Sean Payton has went back there.
Oh,
so,
that would be cool.
And it's a primetime game as well. I'm like, man, there's just so many good opportunities. But we'll see what happens. The only other football news I had, our Battlehawks made it to the XFL championship game.
Nice.
It is XFL because it's like the conference game. So they still got to win that to go to the UFL championship.
So XFL teams are in a conference, then the USFL.
Yeah.
And the championship would be
the UFL.
What? Oh, yeah. I said it wrong. That's kind of, I like that kind of.
Yeah.
So they're just making it one. I mean, it is kind of one big league, but instead of like you have your team still.
Yeah. St. Louis plays San Antonio Sunday, June 9th at 7 o'clock our time. So fingers crossed. Go to UFL championship.
Go Battlehawks.
Hey, you know what they say? Cacaw is the law.
Go AJ McCarron. Former Bengal.
Anything else for football, buddy?
No.
No?
Nope.
I'll touch on one more thing kind of related to our other show, the current backloggers. I know you know NCAA football is coming back, as in the video game. Did you see the controversy with Ohio State?
I did not know. I know that a Michigan player is on the cover, so I thought that was like the thing, but...
Yeah, that and they show a whole lot of Michigan in the trailer, and the only Ohio State is Brutus hitting his head, which I thought was weird, but I was like, whatever. I mean, I hate it, but Michigan just won a national championship, and I was like, so it's probably nothing. But I heard a lot of Ohio State fans freaking out, and as much as I love Ohio State, their fans can be the worst.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying how EA hates them, and it's like an inside job. But the more I saw from try to look into it, I was like, the more I was like, man, maybe they're onto something because, yeah, he's on the cover with Quinn Ewers, which is a former Ohio State quarterback that is one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now. So it seems like they're like dissing him for not having him on Ohio State. And then they show Michigan, like I said, over and over, but then they also show one of the Michigan players stiff arming Ohio State player to the ground. And then they also show the what is the name of the trophy?
Heisman?
When Ohio State plays Illinois, the
Illy Buck.
yeah, they show Illinois lifting that, which they've done a couple times ever, and then somebody paused it, and the score was like 52-13 against Ohio State. So there it does seem it seems a little odd, and they said that
seems targeted.
Yeah, they showed one of the top guys at EA graduated from Michigan, so I was like, yeah, this might not actually be Ohio State fans just being idiots. It seems a little odd.
It sounds targeted.
And there's a couple other things, but I don't want to make things up. But that alone, I was like, holy shit, that's kind of crazy.
It is something. Because I don't remember Illinois. I mean, they probably have, but I don't remember Illinois ever winning that trophy.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to look up to know for sure, but I know they upset us. It's probably actually a decent amount of time ago now, but somewhat recently when Ohio State was supposed to be where it was really good and they screwed over our season. But yeah, it's not a normal thing, and when they do it, they're not winning by 40 points.
True. Yeah, I remember when we played Illinois last, because I feel like I think we were supposed to play them, and then COVID hit Illinois. It might have been that, but I don't remember last time we played them.
I thought it was recent.
Which is weird because we play everybody else, but Illinois.
Let's see here. Just look up a couple quick things. So yeah, we played. Oh, this is not it. Let's give me fake information here. Just gave me Ohio State's history, not Illinois. All right. Oh my God. Well, next is hockey. If you want to start on that, I can look this up for a second. We'll get kind of bounce around.
I'm finished chewing. I did have a few more for football.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I put college football as a separate section. But I can add it to this.
Oh, okay.
But I was going to say Ohio State made like a whole bunch of roster moves. I don't know if you guys talked about that yet, but
a little bit.
We literally had nobody. Like the team just left, and then a bunch of players were pending, and then we just signed a whole bunch of people, and then everybody, all like the top top players came back for like a 5th year or 4th year. And then all of a sudden we became like the team to beat. And I think the preseason ranking, I don't know if they had like a post spring training rankings, and we were like number 2 under Georgia, but they're Georgia, so. But and then NCAA, it's 25 July 19th, but it's only for new gen consoles. So, but. And then, Quinn Ewers, which he's pretty good. I like him. Travis Hunter, which is crazy that he's on the cover because he played, not even half a season. And then Donovan Edwards, which, okay, he's good. He gave us issues. Cover, and then there's no mascot mode on the game.
Oh, did they announce that? I had a feeling they weren't going to do it, but I was hoping they would.
They did the different modes. And it's like Road to the Playoffs and Road to Glory and regular ones, but there wasn't a mascot mode. So unless it's like not a separate thing and built into one of the modes, because I didn't read like too into it, but I'd be very sad if there's no mascot.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the dumbest thing in the game, but super fun. And that makes me worry on another level because I really hope that I'm not a Madden hater. I really like Madden, but I feel like a lot of people that didn't play both games always just said they were the same. But if you played both of them, you could tell the difference right away. Madden was way more simmy, and NCAA was way more arcadey and pick up and play. And they obviously shared some assets, and there were similarities, but I feel like they definitely played very differently. And I really hope that they realize that that's important. It's not just literally a Madden clone with NCAA on it, because that's not going to be the same.
Yeah, that I liked because I only played 2012 for NCAA, and I liked how some Madden games do it where you like start in college or whatever. I think the newer ones you start in the championship, but like in college you play in high school.
Yeah.
And then you just play like 1 year or like a few games, and then you can like pick what colleges you want to go to, and then they can be like, oh, here's your scholarship, and then you pick your top 3 plus others, and then when you actually decide, then it lists all the ones that you got accepted to.
Yeah.
Then you can choose. Then you play like 4 years. And that's cool because then you like when you get on, that it tells you like, oh, if you go to this school, you'll be a second string, first string, whatever. But you can still like challenge and like work your way up. So I thought that was cool. But also, I don't know if it's the other ones, but in 2012, you can use your college player, and once you finish your year, you can copy it over to Madden 2012, and you can play as your college player. So I think I got drafted. I got drafted to the Texans, but I didn't play much of that. I just played the college, and then my Xbox stopped. Well, the game stopped working. I took it over to Cal's, and it just worked just fine. So I'm like, great. So I'll have to buy this one.
I looked at Ohio State. They're 68, 30, and 4 against Illinois, and Illinois had a successful streak in the 80s where they won majority of the games. But besides that, Ohio State has absolutely dominated them. And the last 24 games, if I'm looking at right, Illinois won 3 of them. The one that I was thinking of, and shows you how time fucking goes by, it was 2007, and Illinois won by 7, and not 40 points in demolishing Ohio State. You were right, though. They haven't played them since 2017, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, that is wild.
And it shows it here, Illinois every year or 2 years. So I don't know what happened.
I was a senior in high school. That's crazy.
I know they're in the other division, so I know that's part of it, but still I feel like that's...
Well, because we still play... I feel like we play Wisconsin like every other year.
Yeah. And
Minnesota played Iowa this year.
That's what I was going to say. Even if it's a different division thing, they would have played them a couple times at minimum. So I don't really get what's happening there.
It's weird, too, because it is a rivalry game.
Yeah.
So, interesting. But that's all I have on college.
All right. On to hockey, then?
Hockey.
You want to take it away or you want me to? I don't have a whole lot.
I don't have a whole lot either. They're in the playoffs. I'm watching more hockey. It's on later at night when all the... Cause I've been watching the college softball and baseball. So, like, when that's over, then it's mainly, like, West Coast hockey. So I'm watching Colorado, and I watched Vancouver and Edmonton last night. So, yeah, we are at... Oh, I scrolled. Whoops. We were at the New York Rangers against the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Finals, and the Dallas Stars against the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Finals.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite in this group.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I talked last episode about how I was hoping for an Avalanche Hurricanes Stanley Cup.
That'd be cool.
Got eliminated by the time this episode happened.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Boston's my most hated team. They're gone, so that's a bonus. But yeah, it's kind of just rooting against teams, which isn't nearly as fun. Like, I was rooting for the Avalanche or Hurricanes. Now I'm just rooting for teams to lose, basically. The Stars are a team I hate the least. I don't even hate them. They're just nothing to me. So,
Dallas.
yeah, that's who I would want to win. But, yeah, I don't like Florida. They have their goalie is former Blue Jackets goalie.
Oh, yeah. And he's good, too, now.
Yeah.
Or
And,
he still was good, but.
yeah. Then the Rangers, their best player is former Blue Jacket player, and there's such a big market and such a big team. And then I really don't want a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup just because I think it's very funny that that's like their sport, but yet they never win it. Like I said last episode, but to be fair, there is a lot fewer Canadian teams in the league, so it's obviously hard for them to win it, but still it's very funny to me how long it's been since they've won one when it's their sport. So, yeah, it's kind of really bank on the Stars because if they lose, there's a Canadian team in there, and then by default, the other side, one of those two teams getting in. I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
If I was picking, I'd pick Florida just because they're the smaller market and lesser known team.
Panthers are cool.
Yeah.
But I think, based on what I've seen, I would want a Panthers-Oilers, but I could see maybe a Rangers and Stars. Because Oilers, I feel like, are inconsistent.
Yeah, and the Stars have always been a good team, but they seem next level. I mean, even aside from me being an Avalanche fan, the Avalanche are a top-tier team, and the Stars handle them. So I was going to say I'm a little worried to win it, but like I said, that's who I'd prefer to win, and I feel like they should be the favorite to win it now, if they're not.
Yeah. I'll still watch the games if I can. But yeah, I'll probably just be like, oh, cool. And
So,
not
yeah,
really.
you're better than me because now I'm just checking scores because I'm just more annoyed than anything. How's my main team didn't even make it in the playoffs, and then the teams I root for secondarily all fell away.
That was me. It was Jackets, and then I like Carolina just because I like North Carolina, I like this state. So I cheered for them. I just think the Minnesota logo is cool, but they weren't. That they did good, then sure. And then Avalanche I was rooting for because of you.
Oh.
But now I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But have the Monsters started their...
They have.
I haven't been...
They're in the third round of the playoffs now against the Monster being the Blue Jackets minor league team, AHL team, and they're facing the former Blue Jackets minor league team, Syracuse Crunch, and they've won the first two games. So they just got to win one more, and they'll wrap up that series. So they'd have to have a total Cleveland collapse to lose this series, which Cleveland is known for. But
best of 5?
Yeah, it is until you get to the next round. Yeah, the last 2 rounds are set best of 7. So if they win this round, the next 2 will be best of 7s, which the last one being the Calder Cup, obviously.
Yeah. Who is the affiliate of the Monsters before the Jackets?
The second best team, the Colorado Avalanche.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild. 'Cause I just feel like Cleveland. Well, I guess they were the Erie Monsters before, but still like an Ohio team. Like, wouldn't you be an Ohio team?
Yeah, the Avalanche. I think I don't know. I have to look that up. But I know. I listened to a podcast a little while ago now, so I can't remember exactly how he explained it. But he said the minor league teams used to purposely not want their teams close to them, and they wanted them in separate states. That's why the Blue Jackets had Syracuse, because it was a good distance away. I can't remember why he explained it well, and it made sense. But he said that things have changed, and now teams are wanting their minor league as close as possible. So that's why things are transitioning like that. Like now, the Clippers aren't the Yankees team; they're Cleveland's.
Yeah,
yeah. Everything's getting closer instead of farther away.
I feel like it'd be easier because if someone got hurt and you need someone instantly, then they're just Cleveland's 2-hour car ride away.
Oh no, for sure. They advertise that all the time with the Blue Jackets. But yeah, I wish I listened to the podcast sooner, but I listened to it so long ago. But when he said it, I was like, no, that makes complete sense. But I can't remember what it is now, so I'm not gonna make shit up. Anything else for hockey?
No, just
No.
Go Monsters, go Jackets.
Yeah.
Go Avs.
Oh, jeez. Now you're just making me sad. Anything for soccer, sir?
Columbus.
I
The
hope my
Crew.
claps didn't come through. You just did that.
That'd be funny. The Crew are 5-6-2. Which sounds like a weird record, but soccer's also weird, and I don't know. But I also felt like they had more ties.
Well,
I checked it this morning.
you might be mixing up because the tie's a middle one. Is that so? They have 6
maybe.
ties.
So they're 5-2.
Yeah, only 2 losses.
Maybe I did do it then wrong.
That's the weird part that because usually it's the opposite.
Yeah, and then we're like, we gotta put the record down, but not their standing. But
Oh, you're good. I got it there.
they are. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, 7th in the East, which sounds bad, but it's still a playoff spot. And they played a game or 2 less than everybody ahead of them. So, in theory, if they win 1 game even, they could jump to 3rd place. So, not nearly as bad as it sounds. And they were, before they won these last 2 games, they were actually at the same spot they were last season because everybody was freaking out saying the season was falling apart. And last season they ended up winning the cup. So
yeah, and we had like 2 upsets too.
Yeah, and they're obviously playing with also trying to win a separate tournament right now, and a lot of players being benched and everything. So I think the fact that not only are they getting some wins, but even competing, I think is impressive. So
yeah, extra focus is on the CONCACAF.
Yeah. Since the last podcast, I don't even want to mention it, but it was Hell is Real. I was at the game. Very sad. 2-1 loss to Cincinnati. Very depressing game. First time Cincinnati's ever won in Columbus. But then the Crew made it. I mean, you can't take that away. It's kind of like not as big of a deal, especially because you play multiple times, but it's kind of like the Michigan of Ohio State. Once you lose that, then you're just kind of like, God damn it. But they helped a little by winning the next 2 games. 3-1 both games and both road games, which is soccer is one of the sports that's hardest to win on the road, and that's been the Crew's biggest struggle. Even when they've won the cup and even when they've been good, they struggle on the road. So the fact that they followed up a tough loss like that by winning their next 2 games by a total of 6-2 on the road, I think it's pretty impressive. Yeah, and even those games they were having to bench certain players and move stuff around, so they weren't even playing with the complete full squad.
Yeah. When's the final for it's June 1st, right?
Yeah, June 1st. Yeah, 9:15, Pachuca.
Pachuca.
We're going to be at the Dot watching a watch party if you want to come. It's free.
I might be there. Brenda invited me.
Yeah, I'll be there, so if you guys want to.
Alrighty.
Anything else for soccer?
The Crew got new uniforms, and at first I didn't like them, but then I actually saw them on TV, and I'm like, you know what? I like them. It's like the white jersey with the black like zigzag.
Oh, it's still a yellow jersey. You might have your colors.
Did I say white?
Yeah. Oh, is that what Oh, you're good.
I meant yellow. Yellow.
I thought you actually meant
everybody.
white. I was like, oh no, you might have your colors just on your
Probably.
TV. You're good. I misspeak on here all the time. Is that the first time you've really seen him in motion like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think their old jerseys, I sound like this word, but I use it 'cause it's fitting here, were so clean. I don't think they needed change, but since they did make a change, I thought their New Jersey were really cool. And I think they'll be even cooler if they keep them for like a couple of years and then go back and just make it like a limited time thing. I think it'd be awesome.
Is that like their jersey, or is it just
Yeah.
like they alternate between just the yellow and the
That's their main jersey, and then their black jersey, their road jersey is more traditional. They don't have like the comic book look on it.
Gotcha. But yeah, 'cause I don't have Apple TV, so I can't watch them. I can only watch them if they're on like live TV.
Guess more reason you gotta be at the Dot then.
I will definitely try. Actually, I should be able to. That's June 1st.
All right. Anything else, soccer?
Yeah. Everyone come to the Dot on June 1st.
Hell yeah.
9:15. 9:15
9:15 p.m.
p.m.
All right, we can get into baseball. I'm guessing that's probably where you're going to be heaviest.
That's where my heaviest is. All right, let's start with some sadness. The Reds record is 19-28. The Columbus Clippers record is 18-26.
Thanks, Cleveland.
I actually saw the Clippers on Friday. They played the Bats. I went with people from work. None of them are sports people. It was really, we just talked about like food, and I mentioned like Diamond Dog Night. Because I was being goofy and said, "Oh, just go to the ballpark and get hot dogs."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, don't they have like 10-cent hot dogs?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we looked it up, and he's like, "Whoa, tickets like aren't that expensive." And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
So we sat. I normally where we sit, like close to third base side, but like close to where the home plate is. So we sat there. And then it was just funny. My coworker, like he threw like 4 pitches, and then she was like, well, "Wait, like that's three pitches, isn't he like done?" I'm like, "No." So I explained some things to a couple of them, but they all enjoyed it. So, and I enjoyed it.
Very nice.
They were down 5-0. Their pitcher also I think was brand new because he had like no stats and he only pitched like 2 innings. So but he was also like a major league player who got brought down. So I was like, starting now, I'm like, oh no. But he found like the side like we're 3 up, 3 down. I'm like, all right. And then fell apart. Next inning, he gave up like 4 runs. They yanked him really fast. And then I think they scored 1 run or an additional run. It was like 5-0. And then everyone's like, "Oh, can they come back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they can come back." Because I've seen there was, I think it was either a major league game or a college game, but it was like 12-1. And then the team with 1 run scored 12 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning and won the game. And I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So like it happened, and they scored I think 3 runs in 1 inning, so it's 5-3. So that was fun. Nice free game.
So it ended, was the final 5-3?
Yeah, 5-3. Louisville Bats.
Dang. Well,
So
hey, at least the Reds won in a way.
yeah, and that's what I was telling them. I'm like, they were kind of like, "Oh," and then I'm like, I'm kind of happy both ways, because I mean, if Columbus would have won, that's my team. If Louisville would have won, then like, hey, those are future Reds players.
Yeah.
And shoot, is it Nick Martini? He played. He was a DH, and he actually hit a home run.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, cause I was telling them like, "Oh yeah, former Reds like playing." And they're like,
he's got
"Oh,
called
cool."
back up.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Today.
Yeah, he played good in that game. Yeah, he had a home run, and I'm like, drat, but like also yay, cause the same thing. But but yeah. What else? Yeah, I played bats. They announced, this is kind of like irrelevant, but they announced Shohei Ohtani Day for May 17th in LA, but it's only while he's on the team. So like,
Yeah.
at first I'm like, okay, he's great, but also like he's only played like what, 2 months on the team, and he's doing good, and I do like him as a player. It's just he gets overhyped, and I'm like, and especially with the gambling scandal with his interpreter, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ohtani, interpreter, guy who stole like millions of dollars."
But was it really the interpreter, or was he the fault guy?
Maybe both. I don't know. But cause I saw like they blamed Ohtani. They're like, "Oh, Ohtani was betting," and he's like, "No." And then I guess they didn't find anything. But yeah, the mayor's just like, Ohtani Day. But I was like looking at it, and they're like, only as long as he's a Dodger. I'm like, imagine giving someone a day and then you get traded.
Yeah.
And then they just go, "Oh, nope, not anymore." Speaking of betting, baseball betting, I am still retired. I deleted the app. I emptied my betting account, and I am done. I went, 1-6 on bets. Only lost $5 though, and I technically gained that back because one of them was like an $11 win. So technically, I didn't lose anything, but because it was the free bets.
Mm-hmm.
But still, 1-6. I said, nah, I'm not doing that anymore.
Man, speaking of betting, circling back to hockey for a second, I made a great bet at the Monsters game we went to. I bet $20 on the Cubs to win and got a free Monsters jersey from betting that, and then the Cubs won. So I got $20. So I ended up, the Monster paid me $20 to take one of their hoodies. So that was a good bet there.
Took a bite at the wrong time. Yeah, you got you and Dave. You guys went up and got that. Those are nice hoodies too.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking how nice they are.
But
I expected like promotion all over them and shit.
Or I thought like one of those cheap like lightweight sweatshirts or something. But they look nice. But yeah, nope. I am retired. And I might like come back for like.
You're gonna do the Tom Brady.
Pretty much. If like we went to a game or something, I might bring it back.
Yeah.
Or if like my birthday again, or they make playoffs or just something, I might.
If you lose your job, you need to make money.
I was telling one of my coworkers, she was talking about money and stuff. I said, do sports betting, and then she's like, I don't know sports. I'm like, it's okay, just throw money on
the kind
stuff.
of person that would win $1 million somehow.
Yeah, because I don't.
Uh-huh.
Same with what was the Pigskin? The people that didn't know sports were the ones that did well.
It's almost that time of year again. You gonna be with us?
I will.
Yeah.
I will be
Okay.
with you.
Hell yeah.
I said Pigskin. It's
It is called that. Pigskin Pick'em.
Pigskin Pick'em.
Yeah.
Fanatics. Is it? Fanatics is the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're redoing their jerseys because there's been so many complaints and craziness, and I guess shoot, what team was it? There's a team that's still waiting on their City Connect jerseys.
Oh, yeah,
because they like haven't sent them yet or haven't finished. But yeah, there's like see-through pants, and some of the designs were all weird. And
yeah, you said redo the jerseys. I mean the uniforms, because the pants were. I feel like the worst part. They're just straight to the dick.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it was like redo, as in like they're gonna take the ones that they had and like make like they're just gonna make the pants better, like redo them and give us better pants and try harder. Which I don't really know what happened with that. I just saw like someone posted a thing about the pants, and I'm like, oh, like haha, like just a meme or whatever. And then like it started flooding with so many people like complaining and teams complaining and teams not getting correct jerseys or like their jerseys. And
I'm not a Fanatics hater. I know. I talked to you. I think some of the stuff's actually really good. But yeah, did you see the pants? It wasn't just a one-off thing. Yeah, there was.
You showed me when we went to Cincinnati with Cal.
There's a handful of ones you're just seeing straight through the pants.
Yeah, it was gross. Or they're just really tight. So yeah. Gross. But speaking of City Connect jerseys, St. Louis is the recent team to unveil theirs, and they're called the Lou. And I'm like, is this a joke? Like, because I saw it was like a non-official Instagram page, but they posted about it, and they were talking about like, oh, this team's like playing trash, and I thought it was like because it's the Lou, so I thought they're like playing on that. So I thought they like cropped the jerseys to like just changed it to like represent the team. But then I saw like more, and like the official pages were posting it, and it was called the Lou. And I looked it up, I'm like, what is the Lou? Like, I know like what it means, but I'm like, what does it mean for St. Louis? And apparently it's like short for Louis.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like people calling Cincinnati nasty or natty.
Natty.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's a interesting name, but I mean it's theirs. But so my top 1, 2, 3. I did 5. Okay. My top 5 are actually San Diego, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati Reds, and Detroit. So it is low, but San Diego just has that bright colors that like look nice, and then Philly and Philly, I like their blue, like the blue combination. Tampa, they're just black with like the neon, looks
Mhm.
really cool. And then Cincinnati, that's my favorite color scheme is black and red. And then Detroit, again, I kind of like the blue. A lot of people are hating on them because it's like basic or whatever, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I like the colors. So.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But do you have a favorite besides Cincinnati?
I'd have to look. I've seen some here and there, but to judge fairly, I'd have to look at like a
I
list of
looked.
them.
Yeah, I found there's like a site. It's like the tracking the drops. But at first it started out like they're going back to 2021. I'm like, what the heck? This is new. But then they never like. I didn't know if it was a league thing. So like Boston had these like yellow and blue like jerseys. I'm like, what the heck kind of jerseys? I thought they were just like making them.
Yeah.
And then I think Arizona had like serpents or serpentine or something, and it was like an all tan. I'm like, that's also ugly. I'm like, what the heck are these jerseys? And then more started coming out, and then they started looking pretty good. I mean, some of them I don't like. I don't like all of them, but they're like better than the all tan and all that. But
I saw Cleveland just put theirs out. What do you think of theirs? I thought theirs were very bland.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like the color was cool, but yeah, it just says Cleve, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, ours says Cincinnati, but I just thought the C on the hat is pretty cool, and then again the colors are pretty cool. But yeah, Cleveland just Clee, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's great.
Oh man. Anything else for you here?
De La Cruz for the Reds has
Mhm.
30 stolen bases this year, which is more than 15 MLB teams. And I saw that like one of them was the top one was Chicago, the Cubs, and they have 29. So 15 teams.
Didn't he set a record recently too, having 5 in one game?
I think it was 4.
4,
But still, yeah, he did. I think he did get like a record.
which is nuts.
It's crazy. It's
Sadly,
crazy that he's
it's
not
okay.
enough. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just not enough.
So I say yeah. Sadly, it's all for a 19-28 record.
Yeah.
Do you think David Bell should be fired? I know a lot of people want him to be.
I mean, the first thing would be to go straight to the manager, but also like we started off the year with one of our top prospects getting banned for 80 games.
Thanks a
And
lot.
then and then for PEDs, and then there's a few other people getting injuries. And then the pitching staff, I mean, they haven't been consistent. So I feel like you could blame the manager, but I feel like in the Red situation, you go towards like who are maybe the GM or like the people who actually make the decisions on trading players and like getting players, because I think the manager can have like a say, but I don't think a manager just walks up and says, hey, I want you on my team. So I feel like the people are like, hey, let's get this 40-year-old pitcher and get rid of our top prospects for this 40-year-old pitcher. And like those kind of people, like, okay, no, get rid of them because that's not something you should do. If you're going to restart, you go young and then have them develop. And then speaking of, literally just now, Jake Fraley was hit by a pitch and he's exiting the game and getting x-rays on his pitch.
Yeah,
Or on his hand.
That leads into what I was getting at and what you kind of touched on is David Bell is somebody I said from the beginning I didn't think they should hire with the names that were out there, but I think it's weird to me. I didn't even want him hired. And I feel like with the job he's done, he should have kept the job. And a lot of people that want him hired, want him fired, even want him fired before this season.
Mm-hmm.
Which this season I think is the first case you could really make for it. But yeah, I think it's hard to judge because of the suspension and not just players getting hurt, but it seems like I don't know if I'm a jinx to my teams or what, because the Blue Jackets have been the most injured team in the last 4 years in the NHL. The Broncos finally seemed to, knock on wood, fix it last year, but they were the most injured team in the NFL the last 3 years before last season. And now the Reds, which have consistently been pretty good with injuries for the most part, are the most injured team in MLB and to key players as well. That I mean, if this keeps going, even if the players are injured, he's going to take the fall, even if it's deserved or not. It's just going to happen. But yeah, I feel like you need to let it play out some because there's no consistency on the team right now, and then so many players are missing that I feel like you're not even really seeing the team that's supposed to be playing. So I hate a lot of the Reds' upper management, especially the piece of shit that was talking about how Reds fans, where else are they gonna?
Yeah.
Where else are they gonna
Nick
go?
Kroll.
No, it
Or,
was Castellini. I can't remember which one
yeah.
though. Yeah. So aside from douches like him, I don't even know. There's moves that I would have made and not made, but as far as this season, I don't know if you can even really blame them because a lot of people had high hopes for this season. So if you had those high hopes, it was based off the roster they put together. So
Yeah, and we started out good too.
yeah.
So, but also we're in May, so we still have 5 months left.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully
And-
it turn around.
Yeah, and we didn't become. I don't think we became contenders last year until about like after the All-Star break, because that's when we won like 12 in a row, and we worked our way up. And
Yeah.
all we had to do was win 3 games, and then we would have got in.
Yeah.
But it's okay. The team that got in instead of us went to the World Series, so
That's not okay. It makes it a little easier.
we allowed the Diamondbacks to get in.
That's all I had for baseball, though. So if you want to continue on, feel free.
I was going to go on to college. College baseball, they are in their conference tournaments right now. Ohio State qualified for the first time since 2019.
That's right.
And I think that's when they won it, right?
Oh, was it? I know they've won it recently, so that's probably right.
Yeah. They won it, so they'll get in. And then they play. The first round is actually going on today, but they play at 9 o'clock tonight. So, play Nebraska. That's pretty cool. Division 3, I just randomly saw this and thought it was interesting. Division 3 baseball is in the super regionals, which you qualify for the regionals, you win your super regionals, and then you play another tournament in the World Series. The Birmingham Southern team made it to the super regionals, but their school is shutting down, like the whole school, like it's just done. So if they win out, then they'll be representing a school in the World Series that doesn't exist anymore. So I just thought that was interesting. Like, that's crazy.
No, that definitely is.
But other than that, I don't know. I can look. I haven't been watching much baseball. Cincinnati's losing. Yeah. Ohio State doesn't play until 9. I've been watching much baseball, college baseball. I know college baseball is usually the smaller schools are the good ones, but I know the SEC runs baseball just like football.
Hey, don't say that.
Arkansas
like
is
football.
the team to beat in the SEC. That's who I cheer for in the SEC, but Ohio State is still number 1 all the time. I think that was it for college, and then softball. They just finished their regionals, so they're on super regionals. So it'll be not Ohio State because they didn't qualify, but on Thursday it'll be Florida State and Oklahoma, which I want Oklahoma to lose because they're the ones. They're like
Alabama softball, right?
Yeah, or Alabama softball's actually not. I mean, they're good, but not like Alabama football, but they're actually like Alabama football where they just win all the time.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Alabama of softball. Like
they just win all the time. And I think last year they went like a perfect season and then perfect playoffs, and then they won. And they won like 3 years in a row. So, but Florida State won. I think like either UCLA or Florida State. One of them was the last team to win it. So I want Oklahoma to lose. They lost 6 games though, so that's good to know.
Uh-huh.
But and then Georgia plays UCLA. Then Baylor plays Florida. Duke plays Missouri. Alabama plays Tennessee. Texas plays Texas A&M. Arizona plays Oklahoma State. LSU plays Stanford. So good matchups. I was gonna go over the regionals, but that's a lot, so we're not gonna do that. It's a bigger.
Yeah.
Because they're double elimination also, so it's multiple games.
Gotcha.
But that's really all I have. Because they're just in tournaments, so nothing really crazy happens. It's just they play double elimination, so they'll play. You just have to win 2 out of 3. Best out of 3 games, and then whoever has the higher seed and the matchup hosts. And then same thing throughout the higher seed host all of it. So in the championship, it just be whoever has the number 1 seed.
No, I gotcha.
And then for like the college baseball, they'll play in Omaha, Nebraska. So we're gonna play Nebraska in their literal home stadium. So that'd be fun. That's all I have on softball and college baseball.
Well, not that there's much to talk about. This has been a just kind of a depressing episode all around, because now we get to volleyball, where last week I talked about it's a big if, but the Fury could win their last 3 games. They will be in the playoffs, but they ended it by losing their last 3. So believe it or not, they didn't make the playoffs. Ended with a record of 8-16. They did finish with the second highest attendance average in the league, though. So it's pretty impressive, especially when you're a team with a losing record. And some of these teams, the crowds were abysmal. So, I mean, I don't root for that, because especially in small leagues like this, kind of everything lifts the other one up. So if some team's doing terrible as far as attendance, that's going to bring down the whole league. That's what kind of happened with the Destroyers. They didn't have, I know you're like, their attendance wasn't great, but I told you how they had like 2 months of marketing. The fact that they had average like 8,000 people is insane that they got that. Especially when a lot of teams in the AFL were averaging like 3,000, and that's what happened. They got pulled down by the rest that were lagging. So,
and the Wild Dogs never even started.
That's right. So you're just making it more depressing. But I really hope that that doesn't happen this week, because I think it has a lot of potential and promise. And I don't want to see any team go, especially I think the more teams, the more markets, the better. But if it's going to have to happen, I feel like it should start being the teams that are the lower and not the teams that are more successful, not just with the records, but more importantly, like revenue and attendance and things that really matter for that. Yeah. So that would not be the Fury, obviously, in this case.
Yeah. For me, on that note, since it's like the first year, I don't want teams to leave, but I also wouldn't mind it, because besides the fans could be like, oh, we have a team. But like the players, like you have like a season to get attached, but it's not if you played for a team for like 10 years,
yeah,
and then they're like, oh, we're not gonna be a team anymore, bye, see ya. Then that's like more sad, because like, oh, you've been attached to the city and everything, but you played like 20 something games, and most of them aren't home. So like you have a few games at home, so like you have some like attachment to the city, but really some people aren't from that city. So you could say like, oh, we're getting rid of San Diego, and then you're all going to be sent to different teams. Well, now I could be sent to my home state or somewhere closer, or still playing. Like, it would suck for the girls because, like, if you, like, bond as a team and then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're going to be shipping out, then sure. Or they just make a new city and just be like, hey, we're going to try a different city this time.
Yeah, I know they already have expansion lined up for next year. Let's see. I think there's 3 teams are expected to be added next year, but that's assuming that all the other teams stay as well. So teams, yeah, they have Dallas, Indiana, Indianapolis, where they're going to be, and Kansas City lined up for next year. And hell yeah, buddy, you got it. And right now there is 7 teams, so that'll bring up to 10, which will make sense as well and make it a lot easier for scheduling. And now I have so many repeat opponents, so
yeah, I feel like they're playing the same team like 5 times.
Yeah, that'd be more reason why I think it'd be better to keep teams together. But yeah, if it's gonna have to happen, it'll happen. So we'll see.
Then you can expand playoffs.
Yeah, and they'll probably keep it in Omaha next year too, but we'll see. The playoffs. I think you said you wanted to touch on that, the playoffs going on. If not, I got it.
Oh, I did not look it up.
Yeah, I don't really care to watch because I'm just sad about the Fury, but it's being hosted in Omaha, and this is how little I cared about it. It already happened. I was looking at these dates. It was May 15th for the first round and then the 18th for the championship. So those happened.
Oh, wow.
See, it's a good thing I didn't play it up before that. Like, yeah, I'm really can't wait to watch it. It's going to be a great game. I was already honest with that. I was like, yeah, I don't really care because I've been looked real bad. So, yeah, go Fury.
Were they on TV?
Yeah, it was on, I think, the CBS Sports Network. Doesn't say on here, but I'm assuming so. Because all their games were on YouTube unless it was on CBS Sports Network, and their bigger games were. So I'm assuming they had all the postseason on there.
You said 18th and the 20th?
The 15th and the 18th.
Oh. Oh, yeah, the 15th. I wouldn't have watched it during the week. The 18th. I don't know what I was doing that day, but not watching volleyball, I guess. But I mean, since it's only been you, me, and then a few other people, we can just touch on. I knew nothing about volleyball going in. I've been to two games. I just knew that Joe Burrow, his parents owned the team, so I'm like, all right, cool. And then the tickets were decent, so we went. And then I was like, wow, like they're hitting it like super hard, and it was scary. And I'm like, they're really good. So I was impressed, and I was willing to go again. Then we got autographs, and then of course me and Brenda, being our introverted self, you're all like, oh, like you guys are so good, this and that, and then I'm like, do your arms hurt? I thought so.
I don't want to relive that again.
And yeah, she was just like, no. And I'm like, all right. But she said no, like, she says like super quickly, and it was the one that was injured. So she's like, oh, just kidding, I don't even play. But now she's not on the team anymore, so.
Roasted.
Got her. But no, I wanted to see, I don't even know her name anymore. The one, Brenda liked her, the Flame. Leon. I forget the first name, but Leon. She's cool. And then the one with like the hair, like afro, like she had like a mohawk.
Yeah.
But like it was cool.
Talking about.
See, I wanted to see them, but then some like older usher lady came in and said, "Nah, bye, see ya." So, and then some like little girl started crying, and I'm like, "Wow." Then we left, but
Omaha won the championship 3-0, by the way. Against Grand Rapids.
Boo.
So Omaha won in Omaha too. So yeah, it's probably gonna be there again next year.
Definitely, and they're probably gonna be favorites.
Yeah. Anything else for volleyball?
Nope.
All right, want to get to more sadness with basketball?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you got? I don't. Basketball is the sport I care the least about, and I root for Cleveland by default, and they pulled a Cleveland. So
Everything I know is from Cal, and Cal's the one that gets the stats. So I'll just be basic, and Minnesota and Dallas are gonna represent the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shoot first. So yeah, Minnesota and Dallas. I'm rooting for Dallas. I know Dallas is weird to root for because the Cowboys and all the people, but I like Luka. He's like my age, and he's playing injured, but he's playing still really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had like multiple 70-point games, so I'm like, yeah. So I like Luka. And then in the East we have Boston and Indiana, and because of Cal, I'm a Boston fan. So I'm a Cavs fan overall, but Boston's like the second team. So Boston and Indiana have Boston winning, but for the East, I just don't. Indiana might win one, but I just don't see Boston being challenged until the finals, and even then, I feel like one of these teams they can still beat them. So, but we'll see. But yeah, Boston, Indiana. Boston's played really, really good, and they sadly played Cleveland, and that was not really, really, really good. They got demolished the first game. But then they've demolished Boston in the second game. I watched that with my cousin.
Give us false hope.
Yeah, I watched that with my cousin. It was nice, and then got demolished in the rest of the games. Well, no, I think demolished in 3, and then I think 4 was close. Because I think it said it was the only game that was within 10 points.
Yeah, I think Game 5, I think it was close for most of it too. Yeah, they kept giving us false hope, but then just fell apart.
Classic Cleveland. Besides that, I think you guys talked about Bronny James going into the draft.
Yeah.
He wants to be known as Bronny James and not LeBron James' son. But the Hawks have the #1 pick overall for the draft, and I saw something that said they're considering Bronny James. So now everyone's like, oh, LeBron's going to leave, and because everyone's saying LeBron's leaving regardless. So I think if LeBron, I don't know if he'll go to the Hawks, but I think he'll either retire or just go to Cleveland or something. But if Bronny goes to Atlanta, that'd be insane because he played 1 year of college and he was trash.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know Cal says he doesn't think he'll get drafted because he's not good. You'd think, well, you don't think it, but you said that they're talking about how he might go first overall. I think it's probably somewhere in between. There's no way he's going first, but I also don't see him not getting drafted even if he was terrible, just because teams care about making money, and that's just a layup, and it gives you the best chance of getting LeBron too. So
yeah, that's what I don't. Skill-wise, I don't see him being drafted, but I see him being drafted because he's LeBron James' son.
Yeah, I think that will happen. I just don't think you could do it, not even with the first pick, but early in general. I think that's something you do at the end of the draft, and you get him locked up, but you're not really. There's no really risk to it.
Yeah, especially when you have other talent out there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, let's go with this guy because we might get a star. But even then, LeBron's still playing good, but he's 40-something now. So you don't know, he could just get hurt and then he's out for the season and then he retires. And you're like, oh, well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
All right.
The drafts. Do you know when the draft is?
No, I don't.
NBA draft.
Oh, he's singing us a song. NBA draft.
June 26th to 27th.
Okay. Yeah, basketball. Well, he's NBA. just lost all hope for me this year. I
Mm.
don't care at all now. It's ironic. The only thing I would prefer to happen is the opposite. I'd prefer Boston get demolished, not just because they beat Cleveland, and not even to troll Cal. I just fucking hate everything Boston. So they're the team I hate the least, but that's because I care about basketball the least. So, but yeah, I prefer anybody to win over them, but that's probably not going to happen either. I can admit that.
Probably not, but yeah. If I don't know stuff, I just follow people. It's like Boston. I mean, I'm Cavs. But even then, like, my cousin was Cavs, and he was, like, the basketball guy. And then I'm like, all right, because I started watching them in, like, 2015. So they lost, and then they won. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a Cavs fan. And then LeBron left, and then I just stopped watching basketball. Then I'm at Cal. Then I'm like, all right, a little bit of basketball. Then I'm like, nah, I can't do it. And then I think Boston just started getting better. And then I'm just like, you know what? Let's try. And then I still watch, like, a little bit. But I mainly only watch if he's watching or I'm with, like, other people.
Yeah.
But
I gotcha.
Or I did watch some of the Cleveland Boston games. But besides that, not really. 'Cause, some were on regular TV, and I had, like, NBA TV, but not a lot of them, like, were on or, like, on times that I liked. So
Yeah.
but besides that, yeah, I don't. Next episode, Cal can break down your stats and they'll probably be in you do every other
week. So yeah, hopefully he's breaking down how they got knocked out and how sad he is.
Yeah, probably.
I doubt it. I just hope so. Not even to
It'd
troll
probably
him,
be-
because I hate them.
It'll probably be close. It'll probably be like game 5 or something by the time you guys start. But on every other, yeah, they might actually be starting the finals by the time.
The only other thing we normally talk about, well, I touch on, is lacrosse, which saved the machine. And then the Denver Outlaws of the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League, which that's where we're going to be saving the machine. But till then, that's a team I'll somewhat follow, but I don't care that much. It's just who I'd root for, and their first game's June 2nd, so it's coming up here soon.
Can fly to Denver.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Watch lacrosse.
Anything else?
What's the closest lacrosse team to here?
Oh, God, I had to look at a map. Like I said, Denver's the only team I even really somewhat care about. There definitely has to be closer than that, though. I just picked that because my love of Denver. This is not it. Give me some crazy.
Utah, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Denver, Carolina, Maryland Whipsnakes. I think I also voted for Maryland to have a team back when we were voting.
Yeah, you did. We don't need to bring that up here. You didn't have to out yourself. You
Carolina,
did that for some reason.
Denver. I think Philadelphia is the closest.
Let me look at something. I think you might be wrong there. Let me look.
It's California.
Oh no, I thought that was a lie.
I think Philadelphia is 6 hours, and then everyone else is plus 6 hours.
Yeah, probably Maryland, but yeah, very similar to Philadelphia. One of those two, I'd imagine. Anything else you want to touch on before we review this pizza?
Do I? The Olympics are in June. They're being hosted by Paris. And then I think Cal talked about the basketball team is like LeBron, KD, like all the NBA stars, because they got whooped in the FIBA Cup. So LeBron's like, nah, we got this.
Yeah.
They're going to wreck Paris. They're
If not, it's going to be embarrassing.
Yeah, if they don't, that'd be terrible. But, and then, but in general, like, Olympics are just weird because it usually just depends on what time they are. I like to watch the weird sports like handball, and I got into curling 1 year. So that was cool.
Is it cool?
Kind of. I mean, if you don't understand, it's really boring. But there's like brushing the ice and it hits a thing, and I'm like, all right, cool. But
Is it cool?
handball is cool. No, that is cool. It is cool. Water polo is also cool. My first time watching it was American team, and they like destroyed whatever country they were playing, so that was cool. I say cool a lot. Are you a Olympic watcher?
No, I'm like the poor opposite of you. I fucking hate the Olympics.
Oh,
And it's funny that your reasoning, because I feel like everybody's like, well, it's the most important thing because it's our country against other countries, but it's usually the sports that Americans don't care about and we're not going to be good at for the most part. And they're like, but we lost it. I'm like, we don't even know what the sport is. Why do we care? So,
or it's like one single person,
yeah,
not a team. Or
so Winter Olympics, I love hockey because I love watching hockey, so it makes sense to me. And this is going to be the first time NHL players have played in like 3 Olympic cycles, so it's going to be amazing again. Basketball, I'll watch here and there, check the record or the scores, but that's about it. And then lacrosse is supposed to be joining the Olympics soon, so I'd watch that. But
nice.
Yeah, I'd watch those because those are the sports I care about outside the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, back when I watched it, or I still kind of watch it, but there was like Michael Phelps, Tony Hawk, Shaun White. You had the players that are the people that were like well known, so it's like fun to watch them. And now like they're all like retired or decide not to do it. So then you're like, who the heck are these people? And so like it is kind of like losing interest, but really it is the sports. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like something you just don't see often. Like when you watch water polo on TV ever, like besides the Olympics, you don't. Yeah. So that's cool to watch. And then
is it?
It is cool. I do like water polo. And then fencing, you don't see that. It's
watch it. Don't say I dare you.
That's awesome.
There you go.
And then we also like snowboarding because they do like flips and stuff. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. And same with what's that snowboarding again? Skateboarding. They just do cool stuff, and it's like awesome. Besides that, that's pretty much it.
I got you.
Adding the sports that you guys don't talk about.
I hear you. The last thing I'll say is we need a professional football team in Columbus. This is getting ridiculous.
I agree.
I thought the UFL was a layup because if they're smart. I mean, imagine the DC Defenders if they were the Columbus whatever and Cardell Jones the quarterback. You would have sold out every game at the old Crew Stadium. Just that alone, that would have done it.
Because he was like the legend at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then you put him in a league.
Yeah, now since then we've had another new Crew Stadium. You have both those that hold like 20,000. If you want way smaller, you could do the Fortress, like 8,000. If you want to go crazy with the Ohio Stadium, 100,000. I don't think you're doing that. My point is that they have so many options and so many great possibilities in a market that had the first professional football team ever, but yet doesn't have a professional football team, and the state has 2 of them, and we're the biggest city in the state, but we don't have one. It's just fucking nuts to me.
Yeah, and then one of them's Cleveland, who can't do anything.
And they got them twice, and they're still just failing. And
are they even like expanding though? Because I haven't heard of a potential expansion.
They are. It's not officially announced, but it got more depressing. They filed trademarks for Nashville, and then Ohio, which you'd be like, ooh, the Ohio Bulldogs, which is a terrible name, but still I would take it. That's how desperate I am. But they filed another trademark for the Canton Bulldogs, so I think it's just a naming thing. I think it's definitely going to be in Canton either way. I don't feel like you trademark Canton in Ohio and then it ends up in Columbus. I think it's going to be in Canton. They're figuring out if they want it to be Ohio or Canton, which
But doesn't, because the Titans, don't they play in Nashville?
Yep.
So you're going to have 2 Nashville teams?
Yeah, these markets they're picking make no sense to me. Like, even though obviously I hate Ann Arbor more than anything, but Ann Arbor is a perfect place for it. Oklahoma City, there's so many markets that make sense for professional football that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have it. And I get certain markets are so big for football that you want in there, or so big for marketing in general, like in New York, LA, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really about the team, which is sad, but I get that you got to do these things. But yeah, some of these places are putting double football teams. Just makes absolutely no sense. Like Tampa Bay, and they did that 2 times with Tampa Bay. I'm like, nobody fucking cares about the Buccaneers unless Tom Brady was there, let alone.
Yeah, everyone forgot they were a team
Yeah.
until Tom Brady joined them, and then they won 1 Super Bowl, and then
Mhm.
everyone's like, "Oh, now Mayfield's on the team, and now it's boo."
Yeah, so sadly, I think it gives even less hope for Columbus because if Canton gets the team, which is going to be more ridiculous because there's going to be 3 professional football teams in Ohio, and
No.
3 of them are going to be in C cities, but not the biggest city in all of them.
Exactly,
And,
and that's Canton just so weird. I mean, they have like the Hall of Fame there, but like that's so just why Canton?
Yeah, well, they had the first football game ever was played in Canton. That's why the Hall of Fame's there.
Mm.
And I guess they used to have a team called the Bulldogs, which tells you more that it's going to be Canton because that'd be fucking weird to give the Bulldogs to Columbus. And then the USFL, that's where they're hosting their championship game, was in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, it just seems obvious that that's what it's going to be. But, and obviously, if I was picking something that's not Columbus, that makes way more sense than Cincinnati or Cleveland. But still, it's from Canton to Cleveland is a lot closer than, and feels a lot more like your team than Columbus to Cincinnati or Cleveland for one of those teams. So I feel like very slim chance. I think the only positive that I would give is that if they want to expand after that to have a rivalry with Canton or in Columbus, which seems easy, but I could see them not doing that. I could see them being like, well, Ohio has a team, and that's probably why they're considering naming the Ohio Bulldogs. They're like, well, that's your state's team, but I'm not going to give a shit about Canton.
Yeah, and it is like, because you have like the Battle of Ohio, but now if you have 3 teams, it's like, I mean, with Columbus you had 3 teams, but it just kind of you could do something with like north, south, and then the middle, do something with that. But yeah, you have like 2 north teams and 1 south team. Then your Battle of Ohio is going to be 3 ways, and it's gross.
Yeah. But Columbus deserves a professional football team in some way, so we better get it.
Yep. Or promote the Clippers and make them professional and have another professional baseball team. I'll serve it for the Reds, but
all right, let's get into this pizza.
All
Scale
right.
of 1 to 10.
Overall, we're going to go with a 7. It tasted very good. It is a very good pizza, but they cut it wonky. Parts of it are folded over. It was like split apart when we opened it. And yeah, you picked up a slice, and it was just like no crust. It was just like the cheese. So, I'm gonna go with the 7 on the 3 negative points are deluxe.
Okay. Yeah, the crust thing's a little ridiculous because
That's poofy.
like I get this as the end crust, but you can see the regular pizza left on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the same pizza. That is this non-existent crust and like a thick crust. That is fucking nuts. I always try and rank these pizzas if I've had them, not based off of this pizza, but what I generally get from them. Not like the best pizza I've ever had, not the worst one. What seems to be the general. I'd say as a general, Costco is like an 8 for me. I think it's really good. It used to be one of the most consistent pizzas, and I think I'm confused why it's not consistent, or it seems to be becoming more inconsistent, because a lot of it's made by machines, like it's not even made by people, so I feel like it's hard to mess it up. But this pizza, and this is probably the worst one I've had as far as presentation. But lately I've gotten some that haven't tasted great, and I just don't understand it. And it's not even for this. I don't think it's just presentation. I think that does change the whole taste compared to that. I think they tasted totally different.
Yeah.
So this
when you
pizza,
like look at it, you're like, oh, it's gross. When you
Oh,
bite
yeah.
into it, you're gonna think gross, and it's gonna taste gross.
Yeah. I don't usually rate the pizza alone, but this one's so different than normal rating. I'd say this pizza to me is like a 5. This standalone pizza is okay.
Wow.
The pieces that were good, I think, were really good, but then when you start to get some of these insane pieces, I was like, this is pretty bad.
So this is the lowest ranking pizza so far.
Yeah, well, my official rating's 8.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
okay.
as far as breaking
Standalone.
down, yeah, that would be the lowest for sure.
Gotcha.
Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No. You've been listening to Pigskin Over Pizza. I am your co-host, T-Dog. And and wow, that was bad. I messed that up.
No, I loved it. Keep going.
I put myself. Edit all that out.
I'll be there.
No, it won't. And this is your host, KCP.
You are or I am?
I said this is, and then, so I'm your co-host, and this is your host, KCP.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so see, I was using your catchphrase.
Oh, gotcha.
You look nervous. You okay, Trev Dog?
This is only my second time in this setting. The other time it was just everyone was talking. I was on my couch, so I didn't care. But this is like the
This is
studio.
only the second time you've done it?
Yeah, I've only done 2 pigskins.
Like this being the second one?
Yeah, so I did because my first ever one was the 2001, and that was
2001. Holy shit.
yeah, because that was when Pigskin first
That was when 9/11 happened.
yeah. But yeah, because that's when Pigskin just became a thing because we talked about how it used to be Brohawks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, no, because one of the, I was listing my teams, and we went over the Wild Dogs. And I said that was going to be a season ticket member for the Wild Dogs.
But they wouldn't be till 20 years later.
Because 2001.
Yeah. That's what you said, 2001.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, 2021. That's what I meant. I did not
Oh, I
even.
knew what
I
you
didn't know
meant.
that. Wow.
Yes, that's when 9/11 happened. You said, yeah.
I thought you meant because I said 21, so I said oh, I don't know, but yeah, it's been 3 years.